After analyzing industry reports and market trends, what I'm about to share might just shock you. 90% of coaches are fighting for scraps in oversaturated niches, whilst completely overlooking the 5 most profitable coaching markets of 2025. I've seen coaches pivot from generalized life coaching to a specialized niche and completely transforming their business in the process. I've seen them go from charging $1,500 per client to $15,000 per client with a wait list of eager clients waiting in the wings. Today I'm breaking down the 5 most profitable coaching niches of 2025, complete with the actual revenue data, client values, and specific opportunity gaps that you can leverage even if you're just starting out. This isn't theoretical advice. These are the exact markets where we're seeing coaches consistently hit 6 and even 7 figures with even less competition. I'm Alleyne, Chief Revenue Officer at Closers.io, and for those who don't know, I've spent over 13 years in revenue leadership across companies like Twilio, AWS, and this happened before joining Closers.io. Throughout my career in sales and revenue leadership, I've had the opportunity to observe patterns across various industries, including the coaching market. One pattern that consistently emerges is that the coaching niche that you actually choose has a dramatically bigger impact on your income potential than most people even realize. In fact, industry data suggests that choosing the right niche can easily represent a 5 to 10x difference in your earning potential, even with the exact same skills and experience. So let's dive into the 5 most profitable coaching niches that we're seeing in 2025, backed by real revenue data, and I'll show you exactly how to position yourself within these lucrative markets. The first and most profitable coaching niche that we're seeing in 2025 is executive coaching. Exec coaching targets C-suite executives, high potential leaders, and founders of fast-growing companies, and the revenue data here is staggering. According to industry reports, the average 6-month executive coaching engagement is currently ranging from $13,000 up to $30,000, with hourly rates often between $200 and $800 depending on experience and positioning. Research from the International Coaching Federation shows the top executive coaches are easily clearing between $300 and $500K annually with just 10 to 15 clients. But here's what makes this market particularly attractive right now. Fortune 500 companies are going all in on executive coaching. Reports indicate that 1/3 of major corporations now have formal executive coaching programs, a dramatic increase from just a few years ago. In fact, the executive coaching market is projected to hit $9.3 billion in 2025, making it one of the fastest growing segments within the coaching industry. So why the sudden surge in demand? The reason for this is because companies are facing unprecedented leadership challenges. This goes from managing remote workforces, navigating technological change, and addressing cross-cultural leadership demands. Traditional leadership development programs simply aren't cutting it anymore. This has created 2 major opportunity gaps that new coaches can leverage. The first is specialization in cross-cultural leadership coaching. As businesses become increasingly global, executives need guidance navigating cultural differences and building diverse teams. The second is tech-focused executive coaching, because leaders who come from technical backgrounds can often struggle with the people management aspects of executive roles, and this creates a perfect opportunity for coaches who understand both the technical and leadership landscapes. I've observed coaches who position themselves specifically as exec coaches for CTOs and technical founders, and they quickly command premium rates of around $25,000 for 6-month engagements with a full client roster. Now you might be thinking, well Alex, I don't have the executive experience, so how can I break into this market? And the truth is, you don't necessarily need C-suite experience yourself, but what you do need is a deep understanding of leadership principles, a structured coaching methodology, credibility markers like certifications from recognized programs, and the ability to speak the language of business and to demonstrate a clear return on investment. Many successful executive coaches started in adjacent fields like organizational psychology, HR consulting, or even as a mid-level manager who developed expertise in specific leadership challenges. The key here is in positioning. Focus on a specific type of exec facing a particular type of challenge where you know you can genuinely add value. The second most profitable coaching niche in 2025 is in sales coaching. Now, sales coaching is particularly powerful because it ties directly to revenue, making it much easier to justify high fees based on measurable ROI. The data here is compelling. Industry reports show that the average sales coach is charging between $150 and $250 per hour, with monthly retention retainers ranging between $1,000 and $5,000. But the real money is in performance-based models, where coaches take a percentage of the increased sales that they help to generate. Some sales coaches charge a modest $5,000 setup fee plus 5% of all incremental revenue generated for 12 months. For a client that goes from $300,000 to $600,000 in annual sales, that's $15,000 in performance fees, creating a total $20,000 engagement. So what's driving this market? Well, research shows that an increased focus on sales effectiveness in an uncertain economic climate, companies can't afford to waste resources on ineffective sales approaches. In fact, studies indicate that effective sales coaching delivers an average 962% return on investment, a number that makes it very easy for businesses to justify the expense. This has created several opportunity gaps for coaches entering this space. The first is in remote sales team coaching. With more sales teams operating virtually, there's massive demand for coaches who can help organizations to maintain effectiveness in remote environments. The second is digital sales strategy coaching. Many traditional salespeople are struggling to adapt digital-first sales approaches, creating an opportunity for coaches who understand modern sales technologies and methodologies. I've seen coaches transition from general business coaching to specializing in helping traditional sales teams to transition into remote selling. Often this specialization allows them to increase their rates from $2,000 per month to $8,500 per month or more. To position yourself in this niche, you can focus on developing a systemized sales methodology that you can teach, then creating clear metrics and tracking systems to demonstrate your results. Then you can build out case studies that show tangible improvements in sales performance, and then you can specialize in specific industries or sales challenges where you have experience or insight. The beauty of sales coaching is that these results are immediately measurable, making it easier to build a reputation quickly if you can deliver genuine value. The third most profitable coaching niche that we're seeing in 2025 is financial coaching. Now, financial coaching helps individuals and businesses to make better money decisions, from debt reduction to wealth building to business financial management. The revenue potential here is substantial. Reports show that independent financial coaches typically charge between $200 and $400 per hour, with annual packages often running into the thousands. Industry data suggests top financial coaches are earning between $150,000 and $250,000 per year. What's interesting about this market is that it sits in the intersection between two major trends. The first is increased economic uncertainty, which has people more focused on financial security than ever before. The second is that there's a growing recognition that financial behavior is as much psychological as it is technical, creating an opening for coaches who can address the mindset aspects of money management that traditional financial advisors often ignore. This has created several opportunity gaps. The first is in retirement transition coaching, helping people to navigate the psychological and practical aspects of moving from earning to living off investment. The second is in financial coaching specifically for entrepreneurs. Business owners face unique financial challenges that most financial advisors aren't equipped to address. I've observed coaches who specialize in financial coaches for specific demographics. For example, female entrepreneurs who transform their businesses, and they go from charging $1,200 for a 3-month program to $8,000 for the same time frame simply by refining their positioning. Now, to succeed in this niche, you should gain relevant certifications to establish credibility. You can then develop frameworks that address both the practical and psychological aspects of money. You can then create clear client success metrics that demonstrate your impact, and you want to consider specializing in a specific demographic, like specializing in business owners, doctors, or tech workers, for example. I should note that financial coaching is different from financial advising. Coaches typically focus on behavior change and financial fundamentals rather than giving specific investment advice, which will require additional licensing in most locations. Before we dive into the fourth niche, I want to briefly mention a tool that's helping many coaches to scale their business efficiently. As you expand into these profitable niches, you'll need systems to manage your growing client base, and that's where Go High Level comes in. It's an all-in-one marketing and CRM platform designed specifically for coaches and service-based businesses. It lets you automate your lead generation, client onboarding, and follow-up processes all in one place. I've left a link in the description box below for a completely free trial if you want to check it out. Now let's get back to our fourth most profitable coaching niche. Now the fourth niche here is leadership coaching, and while this might seem similar to executive coaching, there's an important distinction. Exec coaching typically focuses on C-suite and senior leadership, while leadership coaching targets a broader range of managers and emerging leaders within organizations. The revenue potential here remains very, very strong, with industry research showing that coaches typically charge between $200 and $500 per hour, or $5,000 to $15,000 for structured programs. Market data indicates leadership coaches earning an average income of $100,000 per year, with top performers getting north of $200,000 per year and more. So what's driving this market? And it's the fact that companies are facing a significant leadership gap as baby boomers retire and millennials and Gen Z move into management positions. These new leaders often lack the mentorship and the development that previous generations received. This has created two major opportunity gaps. The first is in first-time manager coaching. This transition from individual contributor to manager is one of the most challenging career moves, yet companies provide surprisingly little support for it. The second is mid-level leadership development. Most companies focus their development resources on either entry-level employees or executive teams, leaving mid-level leaders underserved. I've seen coaches develop 90-day programs specifically for first-time technology managers, priced at $7,500 per person. When they run this in cohorts of 10 managers at a time, that represents $75,000 per cohort, which is a highly scalable model. Now, to position yourself effectively in this niche, what you want to do is to develop clear leadership frameworks that address specific challenges. You'll then want to create assessments that help to identify leadership gaps while allowing you to measure progress. You then want to build out some case studies demonstrating improved team performance under your client's leadership. You'll then want to consider specializing in a particular industry or leadership challenge to help you to carve out your own niche. The advantage of leadership coaching is that it can scale into group programs and workshops, allowing you to increase your income without necessarily increasing your hours. The fifth most profitable coaching niche in 2025 is in health and wellness coaching. This broad category includes fitness coaching, nutrition coaching, mindfulness coaching, and other specialties focused on physical and mental well-being. While hourly rates in this niche tend to be lower, typically $75 to $200 per hour, the scalability and market size make it extremely profitable for coaches who can position themselves correctly. Industry projections show the health and wellness coaching market is projected to reach nearly $26 billion by 2030, growing at 6.7% annually. This explosive growth is driven by increased awareness of preventative health measures and the rising costs of traditional healthcare. What makes this niche particularly interesting right now is the shift towards holistic and personalized approaches. Cookie-cutter fitness plans and generic wellness advice are being replaced by highly specialized coaching that addresses individual needs and circumstances. This has created several opportunity gaps. The first is in corporate wellness coaching. Companies are increasingly investing in employee wellness programs to reduce healthcare costs and to improve productivity. The second is in stress management and burnout prevention coaching. With workplace stress at an all-time high, there's growing demand for coaches who can help high performers to maintain well-being whilst meeting demanding professional goals. I've observed coaches transition from being general fitness coaches charging $100 per session to specializing in stress resilience coaching for executives, commanding $1,500 per month for their programs and working with clients over extended periods. Now, to succeed in this competitive but lucrative niche, you want to develop a unique methodology or approach that differentiates you. You then want to obtain relevant certifications to establish credibility. You then want to focus on specific outcomes or demographics rather than just being general, and you'll want to also build out systems to track and demonstrate client progress. The key to profitability in health and wellness coaching is specialization and results tracking. The more specific your focus and the more clearly you can demonstrate your outcomes, the higher your fees can be. Now that we've covered these 5 niches, the main thing to consider is that the fastest path to profitability is actually leveraging your existing knowledge and experience to be able to help you to get ahead. You also want to think about your preferred coaching style. Some niches lend themselves to group coaching while others are primarily one-to-one. You also want to think about your client acquisition strategy. Different niches will require different marketing approaches, and you also want to consider what aspect of your journey you're currently at, because for some of these niches you'll be better off as a beginner, whereas others are going to require more experience and you being a bit more advanced and further down the journey. So you really want to identify the intersection between your experience and one of these lucrative niches. Don't try and be a general coach in a specialized market. You also want to make sure that you narrow down your focus to a specific type of client, challenge, or outcome outcome. Instead of just offering leadership coaching, perhaps focus on leadership coaching for engineering managers transitioning to executive roles. Next, you want to develop a signature framework or methodology that addresses the specific challenges. Having a proprietary approach significantly increases your perceived value. You then want to make sure that you've got a clear customer journey, a clear before and after story that demonstrates the transformation that you facilitate. This then becomes the foundation of your marketing. Lastly, just remember to price based on value, not time. In these high-ticket niches, clients care far more about the outcomes you can drive rather than hourly rates. I've observed coaches with relatively little experience but excellent positioning command fees that match or exceed those of coaches with decades of experience but poor positioning. So there you have it. Those are the 5 most profitable coaching niches of 2025: executive coaching, sales coaching, financial coaching, leadership coaching, and health and wellness coaching. Each of these markets offers significant income potential for coaches who position themselves effectively and deliver genuine value. If you found this video breakdown helpful, hit the subscribe button for more data-driven insights on scaling your coaching and consulting business. And if you're serious about accelerating your own coaching business's growth, check out the link that I've left in the description box to access your free trial of Go High Level, the platform that can help you to manage your marketing and client relationships much more efficiently. I also want you to drop a comment below letting me know which of these niches best aligns with your experience and your goals, and I'll personally respond with some positioning ideas. I'm Alleyne, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, keep climbing.